Hello, all Randomizer fans. Welcome to another episode of the Link to the Past League Season 4 Open Playoffs. Conference semifinals here. Today, for your viewing pleasure, we have Red Kitsune of the Blue Balls Unite versus Maximum Barnage from Bottles on Empty. This is the first match between these two in the conference semifinals, and today we have a cross keys mode. So, long, complicated mode should be a ton of fun. I am Coravane. I will be one of your commentators today, but of course, I can't do this kind of work alone. So today, I'm joined in the commentator booth by Stags. How are you doing today, Stags? And what can we expect for today's match?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. What can we expect? Probably a very trolly seed.
Oh, no doubt.
It looks like we're getting going.
We are indeed a mostly somewhat useful map. Cross keys, of course. This mode, all entrances are randomized, all the items are randomized, all the dungeon, compasses, maps, keys are all randomized, so our runners will have to find pretty much everything, including where the entrances are to all of the places they need to go.
So we're getting a pretty familiar start here from both of them, taking this water warp over here to check the witch's hut.
Yeah, see this opening a lot more often. This witch's hut, kind of an out-of-the-way location, so good to get checked early. Today, it looks like it's just a dark cave, so our runners might have to come back later with the lamp to find out if that's important.
Oh, Maximum Barnage took some damage in there.
Indeed, that narrows it down a little bit as to what dark cave that could be. We also find the lumberjack drop down with a bottle. That's a nice early find there. In case they find Sick Kid, they'll already have what they need.
And both of them going in to pick it up.
Also looks like both of our runners are going to set up a Houlihan here to get some early money. And with that 225 rupees in tow, we now see some divergence as Maximum Barnage goes up and goes to the Sanctuary to find out what entrance this is. Meanwhile, Red Kitsune decides to go over to the east.
But so it looks like, what is it? The level 1 tree pole is magic.
It did look like that. Maximum Barnage finding the flute, a great early item. Meanwhile, Red Kitsune finds a vanilla entrance to Hyrule Castle.
And up on top of the mountain.
Ooh, that's nice too. Maximum Barnage will be able to get up onto the mountain, not that side, with the flute, but finding an entrance over to East Death Mountain is always a great find. There's a lot of openings up here that you can go into, and sometimes it's just trolly to try and find an entrance over onto the Death Mountain, so...
I didn't see the connector. It was through the castle, but I didn't see where the castle entrance was. If that's very convenient, then it'll be a great opportunity for full exploration of the mountain.
Indeed, I believe the Hyrule Castle had a vanilla front entrance, and then the left exit to the castle led to Death Mountain, so definitely not that inconvenient.
Oh, and Maximum Barnage picking up the bow here in Blind's hut. Red Kitsune is found in front of Turtle Rock, too. A lot of quick activity from these runners.
Indeed. Red Kitsune wisely using that entrance to TR as a bomb farming expedition.
Oh, and Maximum Barnage also finds Paradox.
This is a fantastic find, especially since they already have bombs. They'll be able to check all 7 chests up here if they really want to give it a go with those mini Moldorms.
We have found a book in Paradox. And the big key to Pod, too.
Looks like we have our first big key to Ice Palace and the lamp and the key to Tower of Hera. A very nice haul out of the back of Escape there.
Yeah, I think that there's a big key for Pod on Maximum Barnage side. I don't think the tracker is set up for key tracking. We'll have to do our best to remember that.
With everything else we've got to remember, might be tough, but we'll certainly give it our best try. We find the map of Eastern, be able to find out whether that's a crystal or pendant, and the Moon Pearl, a very important item.
And Maximum Barnage finding the one absolutely completely vanilla check in Cross Keys. The top of the tavern is the only one that's completely vanilla because of the top entry.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has no other entrances to randomize with. Maximum Barnage also finds Thieves Town.
I don't think we saw the big key for this one yet, but it's still very nice to get the 4 checks in.
Yeah, as far as I know, we've only seen Ice Palace and Swamp Palace big keys, both of which usually not required since they only unlock the big chests in those particular dungeons.
Yeah, I think there was Pod in Paradox, but I'm not 100%.
Well, that one would be important and required. I think we have a vanilla magic bat drop down.
And an ice rod. And boots. So
What are
Thieves Town
those?
Thievestown was very quickly the right play.
Yeah, very nice. Between those boots and the flute that Maximum Barnage has, they can move around the world very quickly now.
And Red is in Kakariko also, so he'll be able to get the same boots in Thievestown.
Yeah, absolutely no doubt. Kakariko, just like in any other randomizer mode, is something you want to prioritize because it has just so many checks that you can do early game. It really sets up the rest of the race.
You know, with all of the different entrances here, it's probably even a higher priority than in normal randomizer.
Indeed, someone would have to confirm that for us from chat. I know it has like 20-something checks for items in a regular rando. I don't know how many entrances it has, but certainly important. We do find the Aga Tower entrance. No keys for this yet, but we can get one little chest out of here.
And getting the small key to Turtle Rock and moving on.
And those may be important. It's hard to say. With all the entrances to TR in Cross Keys, usually you can find a back entrance, so you only need a couple of keys if you route it right. We do find the glove, though, from the bottle vendor. Well, the glove vendor
Rhinestones
did
not
it.
included.
Definitely a nice item to buy from that guy, though. I'm seeing a lot of vanilla drop downs here. I don't approve here.
Well, maybe we'll get a lumberjack Ganon.
Ooh. That's very true. We have seen the lumberjack already, and we're running low on drop downs. There are only 7, I believe. Another entrance to Paradox.
So Red is not going to get that TR key yet.
It shouldn't be too much of a disadvantage. They can come back later. Kakariko's pretty easy to get to. And like I said, that one small key to TR shouldn't be required, but we'll have to see. As our runners finish up the Kakariko checks, we can finally head north and check out the Lost Woods area. Find the uncle. Who very irresponsibly gives his nephew the explosives. We do find the big key to Eastern and our Titan's Mitts. That's almost more important. The big key to Eastern, along with that bow, will make Eastern Palace pretty much full clearable when they find it. The Titansmiths, an interesting early item find. It doesn't open as much in cross keys as it does in other modes, but still may be very important. Did indeed get with that book a PED check and found out that it is not a necessarily useless item. A castle tower key, that's an agate tower key, and may be required depending on what this dropdown is.
Well, look at
boy.
that. Oops, all dungeons.
You gotta love it. Meanwhile, it should be noted, Red pulling off some very nice hover maneuvers here to check the rest of Hookshot Cave. I don't think they've found anything of vital importance yet, but these hovers are quite impressive.
Yes, look away, kids. There's magic going on.
We have found the dam, which is very important. One, it gives us some extra items, and two, it'll make Swamp Palace full clearable, which we now know, regardless of pendant crystal status, is going to be required.
Yeah, knowing that it's all dungeons really early is actually a bit helpful. Makes all those maps completely irrelevant, and you don't have to worry about diving a dungeon that you wouldn't otherwise need.
Now, this is very true. I hadn't thought about that, but knowledge is power, and that kind of knowledge is certainly useful to our runners.
And speaking of knowledge being power, Red picks up the book learning.
Meanwhile, Maximum Barnage has finished their north of the Light World checks. An entrance to desert. A couple of items they can grab here. More importantly, several other entrances. They can use this to see if they can get anywhere else in the world.
And Red's passing on the red rupee.
Probably don't need that.
But it's free money!
It is. There seems to be a lot of that going around. Maximum Barnage, meanwhile, finds an entrance to Dark Death Mountain, east side. And the all-important back right entrance to TR. You can get to the big chest.
Yeah, that's a really good one to find, because they're with boots, you're able to kind of jump across that barrier and get a different connector going.
Very true. It can be used as a good entrance into the middle of TR. Meanwhile, Maximum Barnage finds Misery Mire and a connector from Dark Death Mountain to Dark Death Mountain.
Red's practicing his mountain bonks.
Well, Red's gonna have to be careful here. Oh, I thought they had that. Another hover attempt by Red. It looks good. Gonna grab their blue cane, but we'll have to settle for a one-way connector here.
The consolation prize of the fairy refill is pretty nice, though. And it is a funny connector. So we get the ledge outside of desert, but that does set up an Agena check, and that's the Tower of Hera.
Oh, very nice. They did find the small key to Tower of Hera early on, so now we get to see whether that key was important or not.
Ooh,
That's important.
that actually allows for some clipping.
Indeed, almost looked there like Red was going to do the Hera pot clip early using the bomb setup, but decided they might as well check the basement first. Oh, Red's gonna have to be careful here.
Very clever work with the hook shot there. I liked that.
Indeed, that was nice. Meanwhile, Maximum Barnage finds Hype Cave and the flippers inside of it.
And we do know the flippers are hard required today, so that's nice.
Yeah, knowing all dungeons means so much is now hard required. Red attempting to set up this Hera pot clip.
I'm surprised Red's not trying to run into that.
Yeah, I can only assume that they have not practiced the boots clip version. Unfortunate. We'll see if Maximum Barnage can pull off the Hera pot and get to see what's on top. Worth noting, though, our runners don't have anything that can actually hurt Moldorm, so they can go up, but there's only one check they can do if they do the Hera pot clip, so might not be much left behind here. Another connector takes Red to South Dark World.
And
Ooh,
maximum Barnage gets the clip.
Yeah, first try on that too. That was very clean. Just the blue boomerang to be found up here in the Tower of Heroes. So red did not miss out on anything by not pulling off that hero clip. Does find the back of Skull Woods though. Once again, can't do anything here. No sword to get to the back, no item to kill Mothula with, but good to know where that entrance is. They'll be coming back to it later.
All right, so we're about 25 minutes into this. We've got a lot of progression. We haven't found a sword yet, but otherwise we're doing pretty well with items.
Definitely a lot of progression items, a lot of things that open up a lot of locations in the world. There's not much they can do in a lot of the dungeons yet, but they are finding a lot of, as you said, stuff to, important items to get them around. Red found the back of Desert in the bomb shop vanilla location. Important to note, they went in there and they took the small key from the back. They can use that later on in the front of Desert to get an extra 2 items, but that does mean they're going to have to find the small key to Desert in order to finish it.
It allows for the opportunity to scum save. Don't necessarily have to do it if they find something good back there, but if not, if they save right before it, they can actually reset and get that back. There's allowing for the opportunity.
Very true, very true.
Oh, and Laser Bridge is a nice find.
That is a nice find. Would be
Especially
nicer
with boots.
Yeah, would be nicer with a invincibility item, but a couple of boots clips here. We have ourselves a bacon coin and a whole ton of money in here.
Big key to Meyer, that's a good one to get. We know where Meyer is, too.
Yes, we do. I don't know if Red has seen it. I know Maximum Barnage found Misery Mire up on Dark Death Mountain. Both of our runners find themselves converging on Light Death Mountain over here. Front of Desert main entrance. That is actually a really good location for Red. You were talking earlier about the save scum possibility. That is a real quick entrance to get to with their flute situation. So red could later on set up after a save and quit to quickly flute up here, check the key. If it's nothing, quit out and have lost very little time.
They're both finding the wayward traveler right now. A small key to ice is the reward.
Not a terrible reward, honestly. The small key to ice just makes routing it a whole lot easier, a little more straightforward, I should say. So probably not going to be sad to see that.
And Ice Palace and Pod are 2 red crystals.
Yeah, strange location for the bomb shop, but with the flute, a little less inconvenient. Ooh, an unfortunate jump off the mountain there. Maximum Barnage just completely bypasses the ledge.
Yeah, nickel for every time that happens.
And with that last check, the pretty much entire west side of Death Mountain is complete, except for the Tower of Hera vanilla entrance. Fortunately, with our runners having the hook shot, they can go over and check a few extra checks over on the right side of the light mountain.
Oh, and there's the small key to Desert anyway. Well, it was a good idea at the time.
Like you said, it was possibilities. It was leaving the option open in case it was needed. Turns out it's not, but always better to have extra options than not. Well, we found out what that aforementioned dark cave in the Vanilla Smith's location was. Turns out it's the back of the old man's house, or old man's cave. Ooh, not much on the right side of Desert. An extra bottle, but I think our runners already had 2 or 3, so limited use there. Gonna find out what this right exit to Desert is, though. Oh, never mind. We had already seen that from Maximum Barnage side. I missed it. Maximum Barnage, meanwhile, decides to dip into the escape. Several items to be found here.
And looks like Quake is required for the vanilla TR entrance.
Indeed. Red found that early. I believe that Maximum Barnage found that as well. But I could be mistaken. I seem to recall that was in Hookshot Cave, and I know Maximum Barnage did that. Now, Red is going to do a little bit of exploring here in TR. A little dangerous here without a sword or hammer or some other good offensive weapon. Using their ice rod to somewhat good effect here on these pokies. Oh, credit where credit is due. That was 3 very nice shots with the bow to finish off there.
Yeah, the initial ice shots were really great also. The timing on it is so different from the fire rod.
Yeah, a little tough. That was that a castle tower key, I believe? Yeah, chat saying the same thing I did, it seems. That was the other castle tower key locked behind 4 TR keys, logically anyway. So both of the castle tower keys kind of buried deep, honestly. But we know very required.
And there was a Thieves Town big key there in the Chain Chomp room, so that opens up a few more checks also.
Oh, it does. That, I believe that... Is Thieves Town full clearable? Can you beat blind with their current loadout?
I don't think so, but wouldn't be full clearable for the big chest anyway without the hammer.
Of course. I meant the boss moments.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't remember. I don't know if the ice rod actually does damage to blind. I've never tried.
That has never come up for me. I don't know. I don't think so.
Even if it came up, I wouldn't want to have to do it, that's for sure. And we got competing Dark World dungeons here. Red is going to go into Misery Mire and continue that late game dungeon checks here. Maximum Barnage, meanwhile, is going to check out Pod. A lot of items here in Pod to find.
That was a good work through Mire 2 there. That without a sword, that can be pretty tough.
I didn't actually see it, but it looks like Maximum Barnage doesn't have any pod keys yet. So their time in pod is actually over earlier than I thought. But
with as many of them as there are, that just seems so inconceivable.
it is pretty late to not have a single pod key. That's why I was a little... why I assumed he was going to be able to do more, but we will go wanting.
Watch, his next check is going to be a pod key.
Commentator's curse, I'll tell you. Red, a little low on health, I'm assuming is their reasoning there, but they left a check behind there in Spike Room. Hopefully they remember to go back to that once they have a little more health.
Oh, we're gonna start to see our Skull Woods checks.
Yep, always something important in the front of Skull Woods. Ooh, Maximum Barnage gets grabbed by the Wallmaster there. Unfortunate. That room is absolutely maddening if you don't have the right equipment.
No!
Again! The Wallmasters are absolutely merciless.
Yeah, this just seems like a great opportunity to instead skip this one check the rest of Skull Woods. Maybe you get the cane, maybe you get the fire rod, and then come back to it.
Oh, finally makes it through though, and all that work is for the Arrow of Destiny, which somebody in chat called out good 15 seconds before it happened.
Feel the validation.
There could be nothing more insulting in that chest than the arrow.
I think that's a guaranteed Skull Woods key.
I believe in regular cross keys, it still is always a guaranteed key. Red there, if he noticed, finding out that the stun prize is a single heart, which isn't always useful, but that kind of knowledge can be in certain situations.
And Maximum Barnage doing the smart thing here. It would seem that you have the key, just use the key, but you still want to hang on to that key for when you actually end up defeating the dungeon. Still need one key.
Yeah, definitely try and save that one key for the back. If you don't, like you said, that's one of those you don't run into it in normal rando because there's always the keys on the path to the back. But in cross keys, if you're not careful, you can end up locking yourself out of the back and have to come back to the front to grab a key just so you can finish off the back.
And if you've already burned the keys in the front, then you have to go find a key. And that might as well be an ice rod hunt.
Oh yeah, very true.
Yeah, I missed what was in Vanilla Eastern, but Maximum Barnage has found Ganon's castle.
Oh man, found the important
Ganon's tower.
entrance here. I like a castle better. We're gonna leave it at that. Oh, even more important though, over on Red side, after 45 minutes in, we finally have a sword. Oh, Red also finding themselves with a bit of an excess of cash there and decides to spend it to up their arrow and bomb capacity.
Do we know that GT is required for this seed?
I believe we now know that it is not. The only drop down that I can think of that we haven't seen is the fairy drop down, unless I missed one.
I thought we saw that one. I think maybe the
It might be the thief then.
yeah.
In which case, unless there's something important on that little thief's ledge, then the drop down that you get for beating GT would not be required.
So not necessarily completely all dungeons.
Well, not yet, but since you said something.
Now, wouldn't that end up the trolliest of the trolls?
Maximum Barnage finds the entrance needed to go and grab their blue cane.
That's a tough bomb jump there.
That is a tough bomb jump.
So we have a question in chat about why the almost all dungeon. So we know that there's a castle tower key on the pedestal. So we know we need the pendants. We know that we need to do the castle tower because Ganon is hiding in at the lumberjack check. So we have to beat the castle. We have to beat Aga 1 for that.
Maximum Barnage spots that the bacon coin is also going to be needed to get into the Vanilla Mire entrance.
Looks like Maximum Barnage is farming up some Zora money.
Meanwhile, Red is purchasing a whole bunch of potions. Ooh, good spot on that magic hut, though, in the vanilla dam entrance, which is right by the 7 drop on the flute.
And Red's gonna get his flippers now.
Meanwhile, Maximum Barnage using those flippers to go over here to check the dark shopping mall. Unfortunate they don't have the mirror by now, because this is a great check to do once you have the mirror, but that is being elusive so far.
I'm looking forward to finding the mirror at the top of Ganon's Tower.
Whoa, now
Right
settle
after
down there.
Moldorm, or right after Moldorm 2, we have the mirror right there.
Settle down. It's too early here to start putting that bad omen on our runners. Maximum Barnage does find the magic powder. That's a nice find.
Yeah, this is the playoffs. They know what they're doing.
Looks like we're getting some of the water checks finally from Red's side. I don't know what it's called when a dungeon is in its Light World equivalent, but there's Ice Palace. Nothing but a compass there under the bridge.
Yeah, while we have a little bit of a lull, I want to throw a quick shout out to our trackers today. Duruk and Saphir, thank you for pushing the buttons and making this a lot easier for us.
Yes, especially thank you for catching up on all those keys that we got early game that we weren't able to show off.
And definitely give the runners a follow here. They're very good at what they do, and I'm sure they would love for you to give them a follow.
All right, we have made it to the Great Swindler of Hyrule. Today, for 500 rupees only, you can get a map.
The paper burrito.
Red finally going to get that very important knowledge there about the small key on the pedestal. And unless I'm much mistaken, they're about to go over and find out just how important that knowledge is.
Big Key to Eastern is a nice get. Have we seen Eastern yet?
I do not believe we have seen Eastern. Now, there's that bad news on Red's side that pedestal is required, and so is most of the dungeons. There's an entrance to Bumper Ledge. I don't know if we've seen the other side of it. Interestingly enough, with the hook shot, Maximum Barnage can go through that connector. It is one way without having the cape, but from that entrance, you can make it through.
We're gonna get Super Bunny over here on Maximum Barnage side.
Yeah, 2 items here could be important. Oh, indeed is the Fire Rod coming up in Super Bunny.
Yeah, I think there's some value to that.
Might be, especially knowing that we're going to have to clear Turtle Rock.
Alright, so at just about an hour in, Maximum Barnage still without the sword. It starts to get a little scary. And Red picks up the mahi burrito. That's the only thing I could think of that would be 500.
Yeah, I think so. Interestingly, we got all of those items early on, just a big flood of them in the first 20 minutes of the game. We haven't gotten a whole bunch since then. We are still missing quite a lot of items. We're going to need the hammer, we're going to need a couple swords, the mirror, the cane of Samaria.
And lots of keys.
A ton of keys, yeah. We're real short on especially small keys.
Now, having that sword paying off a little extra for Red here, getting to actually use the Quake to get into Vanilla Mire. And there's the hammer.
Oh, very nice find. And a sword. That is a big win on Red's side there.
On Maximum Barnage, look at that. Taking the Smith swimming.
He never gets to go swimming. This is nice.
You know, it's just work, 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 work. Maybe it really is Saturday. And I'm seeing in chat, it looks like the thief was not talked to in Mini Moldorm Cave. So if there's an item there, that could be disastrous.
I'm going back and checking the VOD right now. I spotted the same thing you did in chat. And if that's the case, that could be huge. And I can confirm they did not talk to the thief in Mini Moldorm Cave.
And Maximum Barnage has a sword now.
We'll see how long it takes for them to get back to the Mire area. I know that they've gone to the Mire area once already, so they may put it off a bit longer than they should. Oh, way quicker than I expected. Maximum Barnage headed back to the Mire area. This could be big for them. They will probably get their hammer right now.
Yeah, I mean, immediately going straight to Quake, getting this going.
Amazing heads-up play there. Now watch closely, chat. If this thief has anything of importance at all, this could be disastrous for Red.
There's no way that Red would know to come back to this check.
No, absolutely not. If it's important, it'll be an absolute last location if he even remembers that he needs to come back to it.
Okay, a little bit of a bailout. So now with the hammer and with 2 swords, we're going to start seeing dungeons fall. And there's the Cane of Samaria.
Ooh, another very important item. I believe that opens up Misery Mire to be full cleared. They already have the big key with that, and the lamp with the cane. That's full clearable.
It sure does. And there are a lot of checks that you can get through in Turtle Rock now too. Red does not have the fire rod yet though. But going into Dark Kakariko should get that pretty soon. Or maybe not.
Gotta check Skullwoods first. Speaking of Skullwoods, Maximum Barnage deciding now's a good time to go back and defeat the Moth.
Does not have a key.
I think they just realized that as well. That's unfortunate. We were talking earlier about the need to have a small key of some kind before you go into the back. It's one of those things that doesn't pop up all the time because usually you don't do the back of Skullwoods before you've done the entire front and grabbed keys, but when it happens, it can surprise you.
And not having the fire rod misses out on one check back there.
Oh, interesting. Chat correcting us there. They had already used the one small key in the front, and the Gyptos have the other small key in the back. So never mind. They have the small keys they need. They had 0 keys, but they had already used the one that they needed that we were thinking of.
Ah, gotcha.
Maximum Barnage headed down to this Moth fight. Gonna have to be a little careful. They are on only about 5.5 hearts. Master Sword, Green Mail.
Unfortunately, the hitbox for the hammer is notoriously large, so...
Depending on where you're facing, of course.
Maximum Barnage making that look just easy, and it absolutely is not.
That was well played. They were patient. They waited for the Moth to come to them so they could hit them with the spins. Well done there. With the Skullwoods being a pendant, we now know where all of the pendants are. Skullwoods, Thieves Town, and Turtle Rock.
Maximum Barnage just the big key away from being able to clear TR. Well, I guess still needs the cane, huh?
Still does need to find that cane. I believe they still need to find the Thieves Town big key. I don't know. It's not on the tracker, but I can't remember if they actually found it. there's a big key of unknown value there.
Oh yeah, Chain Chomp's room for the Thieves' Town Big Key. That's a mean location.
Ah, yes. Maximum Barnage looks like they're going to go and check that big key right away, the big key to Skull Woods, opening up only this single check here.
Oh, and able to check the back entrance too.
Oh, indeed. Putting that fire rod to good use here. Checking the one entrance that it unlocks.
Womp womp.
Surprising amount of shops in Hyrule. Meanwhile, Red going to be able to put that cane to use as they're able to check a few extra checks here in GT. Actually, with their hammer and hook shot, they can go much further. Red finishing off that dance of the floor tiles there. Not sure what the strategy was here as Red finds themselves in the north room.
So without the fire rod, there's a lot of setup that has to be done to be able to clear this room. So you have to enter through the top so that you, when you eventually fall into that pit, then you come out the top.
Ah, I see. I, fortunately, knock on wood, have never been forced to do this room lamp only. I've only seen it done, so I know it's rough.
And very well executed.
Meanwhile, on Maximum Barnage side, the other side of GT, he finds the big key to TR.
And everyone's favorite rando room here.
Hey.
Oh, there are small keys to pod, huh?
Apparently, on both sides of GT, both of our runners find competing pod keys.
Well, I guess that dungeon will be beatable today. Oh, I did not see the mirror. Apparently the mirror was in the Stelphos room.
I missed that as well. We were too busy watching Red and their lamp room over on the right side. But yes, we missed it. Lamp or mirror, super important. Great find. Gonna be required.
And silvers, that's a nice pickup. Very much a luxury item, but you love to see it.
Maximum Barnage not choosing to do the right side unless they did it earlier and I missed it.
I don't believe they did. So that gives Red the opportunity to get into Ice Palace. Does not have the Fire Rod yet. And Maximum Barnage picks up the Tempered Sword in the Hammer Peg chest.
Not gonna be sad about that. Interestingly, both of our runners do have the GT big key and could go up the tower if they so chose, but Maximum Barnage ducking out, not interested in such a maneuver. We'll see if Red follows suit.
Well, it's definitely more annoying to do that without the Cane of Samaria, and that's really why Maximum Barnage didn't do right side GT either, come to think of it.
Good call, good call. Kind of required to get over there. Huh? But Maximum Barnage is going to use that mirror to grab their half magic, which nobody is going to complain about, and also give us a couple more checks up here on the mirror-locked Desert Palace area.
So Maximum Barnage doing really well on the item pickup, but definitely is missing going into TR to get the Thieves Town big key, to go into Thieves Town, clear that, get Samaria, and then be able to start clearing through dungeons.
Yeah, I think that's their next big play they need to make, is they need to get to TR. Red, a little less clear exactly what they should do. Ice Palace is clearable, so could do that.
The big advantage the Maximum Barnage had was the Fire Rod, and that is just about to change now.
Speaking of Ice Palace, Maximum Barnage finds it and decides, yeah, can clear this, might as well.
Is not able to do the Icebreaker, so it will take a little bit more time than for Red.
Yep, gonna have to pull out those old school bomb jump skills. Red finds their red sword there. Besides an armor upgrade, our runners are looking pretty good offensive and defensive wise. Looking at 11 or 13 hearts, tempered sword, half magic on Maximum Barnage's side. Pretty well set up for endgame stuff.
Now, since Icebreaker was, I guess, legalized, I really don't see this bomb jump very often.
Yeah, you definitely don't, but it is a great skill to maintain in your back pocket because it comes up especially in cross keys, but even in regular randomizer where you just don't have the cane yet and you need to be able to pull off that bomb jump still. Meanwhile, Red is going to go after the aforementioned Trinex and decide TR needs to be finished right now. Trinex doesn't really have an item, but does give us that green pendant.
And remembering, beating Trinex puts you at the very beginning of the dungeon, so now you can very easily go in and get these last 3 checks.
Yeah, great heads-up play when you're able to pull it off in cross keys. Leave off the front of TR until you can finish off Trinex, and then it just puts you there. You can check the front and then walk out the front entrance, which you probably haven't checked yet. In this case, of course, our runners do know where the front entrance is, but save some time not having to walk all the way to the front.
So at this point, it seems it's just a matter of getting keys for being able to finish things.
Keys and locations. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we've seen Eastern or Swamp dungeons yet.
I believe that's correct for both.
And we've seen everything else. So yes, we need at least 2 entrances, a couple of keys. And then we'd be able to, as they say, go in this mode. Yeah, unless Colstair has something, this Ice Palace dip not coming up with anything really useful. We saw a pod small key, but nothing else. A whole bunch of junk.
Well, it is one of the red crystals, so I mean, there's some value there.
Unfortunately, I don't know if Maximum Barnage has seen it yet, but I know that Red came out through a connector from the Pyramid Fairy location, so they know that that is not going to be useful.
And what were the odds? A cold burrito in Ice Palace.
Yeah, disappointing. Ice Palace, honestly, coming up pretty weak. Does get the crystal out of it, like you said, which of course is going to be required, but otherwise not much. Red, meanwhile, also going to complete it. Going to be able to do the icebreaker, though. Going to save a fair amount of time here. With a little bit of pause buffering there, Red gets the icebreaker first try.
So this will end up a bit of a time saver there.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of minutes, honestly, not having to walk through that useless middle section of Ice Palace where there's no items or anything. Maximum Barnage, meanwhile, decides another dip to pod is in order. They initially looked like they were going to go down the right side again, which they had already cleared once, but would have saved them a small key. Decided against it and went through the front entrance. Was rewarded with another small key to this dungeon, so maybe? I think they are one key short still of being able to full clear, though.
They can if they're able to get the bomb yump here.
I think that would still leave them short one chest. The vanilla big key location, most likely.
Oh, that's right, up there.
Yeah, yep. Because they spent one key on the front entrance, I think they're going to be one short from opening all the chests. They can beat the boss. You're very right about that. But I think they'll have to choose a chest to leave behind here. Oh no, correction. They only have 3 total, so they are going to be 2 short. Need 4 to be able to full clear it if you don't waste one. And since they used one on the front entrance, they are 2 short. Thank you, chat.
We'll probably find another key in here still, though.
2 pod keys in pod? Spicy.
I don't think we can find one on the left side here.
No, these checks are all 6 key locked. Does find the butter sword, though.
So at this point, I think Maximum Barnage is probably going to leave those checks behind and go take out Helma.
Yeah, absolutely agree with this decision. As we said before, they are getting down to only a couple of items and keys necessary, but you know the crystal is going to be necessary. Better to beat the boss just in case. That way you don't have to go searching for that one single key somewhere in the world just to beat the boss.
And it's probably better to be 2 keys short instead of just 1, because it would be really agonizing to have to choose between those 2 checks.
It looks like Red's going to go up here and give us a check of vanilla entrance to Hera. Probably use that hammer to go over to the East Death Mountain top checks.
Might check the tablet too.
Does have reading material. Not sure that's useful.
Wow,
Wow.
blue mail on Helma. I didn't even realize that they hadn't had a mail upgrade yet.
Not going to be sad about that, even though their heart situation is pretty good and they do have butter. A male upgrade is never sad to see. I'm going to get a check of the vanilla TR entrance. Oh, but just a fairy. And the last two checks in TR turn up nothing important.
Well, hopefully Maximum Barnage backtracks through TR up here to get to that Thieves Town key. That's going to be very important.
It would be. Hopefully they're not trying to put it off in the hopes of finding the cane before they clear TR. Given their current limited options, hopefully they choose to clear what they can out of TR. Red wisely remembering that they had not yet got that chest. Maximum Barnage not deciding to go into TR. There was two entrances over there. As I worried earlier, Red actually found a connector that came out of the Pyramid Ferry location, but Maximum Barnage never did, so they believe this is still a possible location for some goodies to be. Gonna waste a little bit of time here walking this bomb up to the pyramid.
Now, both runners checked PED, right?
Yes, both of them have the knowledge they need that this is a pretty much all dungeon seed. We are going to get some new checks here for maximum barnage, and I suspect we're going to find at least one of the dungeons that we're looking for in one of these 3 entrances up here.
Oh, that's interesting. We didn't go out the other side of Super Bunny.
Yeah, unfortunately, the entrance to Super Bunny that they did find was the one-way locked side. You can't get to the first entrance from that one, but
Gotcha.
at least they know now they've been in Super Bunny. They know not to go through that one-way connector there. Surprising, nothing up on the top of the castle. So where then is maximum barnage going to go? Looks like we're going to get a vanilla pod area check. And I don't believe we've seen any of these entrances over here yet.
There's Eastern.
Absolutely no reason to leave this behind. Full clearable. About 6 items in here, I think.
Unfortunately, not the one the maximum barnage really needs.
Nope, we know they're not going to find that here, unfortunately. But I could be missing something else important in finding it here. I believe we're still missing the small key to Swamp, which is very important and hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, I think the Desert Big is still outstanding also.
Yes, very true. On red side, we see them finish off Pod, completing their 5th dungeon. And I'm going to duck back in to see what they can get out of the back. They are in a similar key situation as maximum barnage, unfortunately. Going to have to choose some stuff to leave behind.
And there's the Desert Big.
There you go, called it. Very nice. So I think the only things we have outstanding are the entrance to swamp and the small key to swamp. Is that right?
Is a Tower of Hera big? But that's really only one check.
Yeah, there's a couple of other things we could get that would give us extra checks, but I think requirement-wise, with those two locations, or well, that one location and the key for it, I think we could go mode this. Unfortunately, that small key to swamp can be almost anywhere. Or it could also be right there.
It could be almost anywhere. As it turns out, though.
Very nice find there on Maximum Barnage's side. The very important key. They need to get to TR for the rest of their items and logical progression stuff, and we need to find the entrance to Swamp, and this seed will be broken. Known.
So getting that small key could actually be short-term bad for Maximum Barnage, because if Swamp is found, then that means probably we'll have to do left side Swamp, which looks like it's going to be a big time sink today.
Yeah, we know where everything is. We know that Swamp has pretty much nothing of value. It might have red mail, but not required, not really even important for these runners. So if Maximum Barnage finds the entrance to Swamp before they get their Canis Maria, you're right. They're going to waste some time in there.
And there it is.
Ooh, bad luck. I think then as soon as Red decides to go over and check the vanilla pod area, they're going to find the last of the things they need. Red drops down into their moth fight. Gonna have a bit easier time with this fight, probably, than Maximum Barnage did on Master Sword.
Okay, 6 dungeons down for Red now.
Yeah, sitting on a comfortable 2-dungeon lead right now, and all important having that Canis Maria.
Now that dungeon lead is about to increase.
Maximum Barnage finishes checking the left side of Swamp. Of course, we know nothing there. Not even able to do the diver down trick, not having that Cane of Samaria. So this is unfortunately just about as slow as Swamp could go for them. Oh, I stand corrected. Apparently they have practiced the bomb diver down trick here. And pulls it off first try. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been able to get the bomb set up for that.
I've done it, but I really need to practice it more. It's a little finicky than other bomb jumps in the game, I suppose, just because of the setup required for it. But certainly useful for those occasions, just like the Ice Palace bomb jump, where you don't have the Cane of Samaria when you come into this dungeon. Red does not choose to skip the vanilla big key location in Eastern and gets their big key to Desert.
And Maximum Barnage takes out Argus and gets the other Thieves' Town key. It's kind of a slap.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. That's just a little bit of extra 30-second, 45-second time waste that they're probably going to end up doing when they go to Thieves' Town and end up full clearing it looking for that Cane of Samaria.
And I believe that makes full go mode?
Item and key wise, I believe Red is in go mode. They just need to find the entrance to Swamp, which we know they're going to find very shortly, and then they will be in full go mode. An entrance we had not seen yet on Maximum Barnage's side, we find the Spiral Cave.
And it looks like Structural Mike coming in with a raid. Thank you everyone for coming to watch our Cross Keys event.
Indeed, thank you, Structural Mike.
We do have a fun race going here. It is every bit as trolly as we hoped at the onset. It's almost an all dungeon seed. We will not have to clear Ganon's tower, but everything else is. We have a castle tower key on Ped, and Ganon is behind Lumberjack.
Indeed, and Red discovering they are in fact in go mode as they find their final dungeon, not bothering with any other checks in here. Straight to the boss for them.
And not even doing those free checks.
Nope. Given the runner's situation, Buttersword, Blue, Male, what is that, 17 hearts? They are well set up to finish out this race. They need nothing.
Silvers, blue, the whole thing. It's almost automatic.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten they had silvers. Yes, even better.
Scottish Brave with a raid also. Getting some early morning activity here. Thanks for joining us. As Red takes out Argus, and that is what number is that? 8 now?
Number 7. 1, 2, 7. 7. Yeah. Meanwhile, Maximum Varnish takes out Lanmo, rewarded with another pod key. That's also not good news if they decide to try and follow that. Let's see, where is Maximum Varnish going? Oh, checking the big chest of desert. Let's see.
Red Mail. I understand these checks, but it's very unfortunate.
It is. They're looking for one specific item, the Cane of Samaria, and they're hoping, of course, that they can just pull it out of some random deep location like the big chest there. They've almost committed to this point. I think a little early on, they committed to not going back to TR, and it's really hurt them, unfortunately. Red trying to get a nice quick kill on Lanmo with silvers, but misses one of the shots, unfortunately. But Buttersword does take out the Lanmos in just 2 hits, so...
And there's 9, so just need a Tower Hera clip.
Yeah, Red is flying through this.
Maximum Barnage gets the clip.
Nicely done there. Should be noted, Maximum Barnage has made use of their time here. They've been going along and checking the things that are bringing them to the dungeons they can complete, so they're not going to be very far behind dungeon-wise, but that Cane of Samaria is going to hold them back from completing the last couple.
And as was pointed out, they're definitely doing all the checks, but full clearing every dungeon is just going to add extra time.
Yeah, pretty much every second that they don't go to TR is time that Red is gaining. Maximum Barnage is clearing dungeons, but yeah, as you said, with the checks they're doing along the way in those dungeons, Red's just pulling away.
That is 7 dungeons for Maximum Barnage, though. Okay, so at this point, Red has to go get the key on Ped, and then go through Hyrule Castle.
Yep, that Aga climb to beat Aga 1 being the last dungeon that they need to complete. And that's just so that they can get to Ganon.
Oh, and here's the Ganon climb.
Oh dear. I mean, it makes sense given the gamble that they've already committed to. Like I said, they're trying to wait until they have Cane of Samaria to do TR, I suspect, and given that commitment that they already made, there are, what, 5 checks up on the top of GT? So it is an item-dense location. It's just very unfortunate. This is taking them just away from where they need to be.
And it's kind of an annoying climb without the cane.
Indeed, especially those 2 rooms that we almost take for granted now that we can use the Cane of Samaria on, to be very quick about. But the 2 rooms with the whiz robes, they're kind of annoying if you don't have the cane and can take them out quickly.
Yeah, I definitely don't practice them without the cane nearly enough.
That's true, I don't either. Ice physics giving Maximum Barnage a little trouble there. This room is my least favorite in the GT climb, no doubt. Well, very nice quick kill on Landmo 2. I believe they got the same quick kill on Landmo 1 too. Very, very nicely done there. Well, making up for the fact that they don't have the Cane of Samaria by using some medallion action. And Red has entered the AGA 1 fight. Time to fight the wizard that is blocking the entrance to Ganon.
So, representing Blue Balls United, you gotta figure, what, 8, 10, 12 today?
Oh yeah, at least. What is that, 3? 4?
I think so. I think that's 3.
Meanwhile, over on Maximum Barnage side, 300 rupees in the Moldorm 2 chest, and they are going to commit to beating AGA 2 and checking what we're pretty sure is the forest hideout drop down for a single item.
That would definitely be the trolliest.
I mean, if that had been the location, if the small key to Swamp had been there, or the Cane of Samaria had been there, that was a beautiful triple on Maximum Barnage side, by the way. That would have been the absolute pinnacle of the seed if it had been there. Honestly, a very nice AGA 2 fight for Maximum Barnage. A triple in there and almost got a second triple. Missed it by just a small angle, but a very nice fight either way. You see a compass in this drop down, I'm gonna be mad.
You get the Tower of Hera big key to open up that one chest. Oh, I guess he already has that.
No, but a heart piece that doesn't even finish a heart container, though. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Red is into the Ganon fight with the big pig. Buttersword makes this fight fairly straightforward. A very nice one cycle to start it off with. Already on to phase 4, pulling out those silvers, Ganon's one weakness. Oh, thought that was going to be a triple there, but does get the fourth arrow into Ganon. Ganon is down, and as soon as Red walks into the Triforce room, this game will be over and in the bag. Flood the chat with your GGs for our winner, Red Kitsune.
Yeah, GG's. That was a great move going through TR, getting that key.
Yeah, the early TR play, definitely the name of the game here, the story of the day.
And it looks like we have pretty immediate forfeit on Maximum Barnage side, and I completely understand that.
Oh, absolutely. You're 4 dungeons to complete. You still don't have your Go Mode item. It's not worth dragging out at that point. You know you missed something in a accessible location early on, unfortunately, at that point. But get some GGs in chat as well for Maximum Barnage, who put on an excellent show and was extremely efficient. Just a single routing mistake, I think, was the story there for him.
Yeah, Maximum Barnage definitely started that race really, really strong. And just making the decision to not dive TR, unfortunately, was the difference. but a very, very well run race by both of them. Well, it looks like Red is going to be joining us here. Both of them, our runners, are going to be joining us in the booth here in a minute.
And we're joined by both of our runners. GG's to you both. An excellent race run, for sure.
GG's, Kitsune.
GG's.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I'm just gonna start by I am not going to be fielding any questions about Skullwoods today, so let's just leave that alone.
Very well. Moving on besides that. The story of the day, first to you, Maximum Barnage, seemed to be the TR dip that you put off for so long and had the item you needed. What was your reasoning there for leaving it behind for so long?
When I went into it's pretty simple. When I went into Turtle Rock the first time, I didn't have weapons. I had like no weapons at all. And so managing the pokies was going to be really difficult, and it was something that I just determined, oh, I'll just come back when I have weapons. And then it just always felt like I had something better to do. So
makes sense. It's unfortunate. Red, you went in there with pretty much just the ice rod and the bow and tackled that pokey like a champ.
Yeah, that was fun. I have no idea what I was doing.
Did he?
Well,
Did you ice rod the pokey?
Ice rod the pokey. I knew that doesn't kill it one hit or anything. That you have to shoot it so many times. I even have too much magic, and I say, okay, let's try it with arrows also. It was quite messy, and I don't know if I get anything with that move, but I wanted to do it as early as possible.
Hey, it was the play, man. I mean, that really got it. I just spent the last 10 minutes detailing to my team the litany of mistakes I made in that seed. But I finished with absolutely none of them would have won me this race.
What was there? What was in Lava Chest or in Chim Choms or what was in TR?
I'm sorry, what was that?
That my question is what was in TR, because I don't remember what was in TR at that point.
TR was your Thieves Town Big Key, and the Thieves Town Big Key led you to the Cane of Samaria on Blind, which was the big thing that held back Maximum Barnage from completing those dungeons.
Okay. I now understand. When I find Samaria in Blind, I was like, okay, so I was really happy because Samaria opened so many things, but I didn't realize that it was so uncomfortable to find.
Yeah, it was unfortunately just in the wrong place. A really weird route to get to it, unfortunately. But to Red, the big question I have to ask, and chat would absolutely murder me if I did not. Let's talk about Mini Moldorm. Do you realize that you skipped talking to the NPC in there?
No, by any means. What is more, I haven't tracked Saharasla. I know that I have seen Saharasla, but I haven't tracked it. Where is it?
It's Vanilla Mire.
Okay, because there was a lot of small mistakes here and there, and this random is random, and none of that mistakes punish me. I didn't realize that I didn't talk with the NPC.
Yeah, that was. We were real worried there. If that NPC had anything of important, we knew that you would not be going back to get that. We thought that race was going to be decided early by that, but fortunately did not punish you. Had a piece of a heart, I believe. So, Maximum Barnage, you were a little bit more efficient on all of the routing stuff, but none of the routing that you did check really paid out for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Like I felt like there was like the middle of the seed part had a lot of item density, and I was feeling pretty good. And then the last like 30 to 40 minutes of seed, like I was checking, everything just coming up dry, and like I was already not feeling good about the way that I executed. So like that already like had me on a little bit of tilt, and I kept isolating individual locations. Like the Mimic Cave one was the one that I was just like, what am I doing? Like I came here specifically to check Mimic Cave, and then walked over, tried to go into pod in the wrong location twice. And it's just like, I mean, that's where my stream is sitting right now, is with just right outside of Palace of Darkness, where I tried to enter the wrong thing. That's kind of like the story of the seed, is just like I could not find the route. I just couldn't find it.
Well, the sword kind of eluded you. The first sword did for a little while.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing too, because like that, I feel like the lack of sword and the lack of cane slowed my world traversal and my dungeon traversal pretty significantly. Like I had a much slower Swamp Palace, I had a much slower Ice Palace. Just running around the world, I had to like bail from runs with the boots early because I couldn't run through enemies. Like I feel like all of those things stacked up. I feel like even if I combine all of those time lapses, though, there's absolutely no way that I'm making up for the fact that I didn't go back to TR when I was supposed to.
Yeah, we assumed that you were fully committed to Kane not being there.
Yep, that was it, and it was, and I lost. So.
I mean, you have to make gambles like that, also. So.
Yeah, cross keys is cross keys. It's still my favorite mode. It absolutely is my favorite mode to play, and I mean, I can think of worse ways to spend your Saturday than playing 2 hours of cross keys. So, not happy about the result, but it was fun playing.
It was great to watch. It was definitely great to watch on both sides.
All right, well, we got another match later today. Our teams do.
Indeed. Tell us about that. What who's racing later today, and what is the mode that was chosen? Do you know?
I believe that's Maniacal versus Kaide Rikawa, and they're gonna be doing Kaz boots, right?
Yes, casual boots.
Yeah.
So, a complete 180 from the mode we just played. A very fast, very straightforward mode that should be a lot of fun.
Yep, and yeah, we gotta even this one up. So let's hope that Maniacal can get there for me today.
Certainly looking forward to it. Again, this is the conference semifinals. This was the first match. I think this is the best of 5, so plenty more time to even out the scores. You said, Red. Any last thoughts from you about this seed or the playoffs going forward?
I will say that 2 minutes, 3 minutes is by far my PB in cross keys. This was very, very fast. I feel like I was very lucky on the route, and I am happy for my team because they really have a chance for winning this. That we think that Butterfly MT is better team individually than any of us. Like the matches that we have head to head. So I was worried here. I make my gambles and it works out, and I am really happy for that for my team. This night Kaede and tomorrow Madcap. Let's see what happens with this week of playoff.
Yeah, definitely excited in case there's a game 5. We'll probably be at it again. So
yes, another game 5. Yes, Red go.
Retrance is a mode, certainly. So, all right.
Oh, exciting! I love rematches. All right. Well, thank you so much to our runners for putting on a fantastic show. Stags, I brought us into this. Do you want to go ahead and take us out?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember to give the runners a follow while you're here. Great runners. It's fun to watch them run. Please remember to do that. Thanks for the trackers, Duruk and Sapphire, and the restreamer. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. On behalf of Coravane, I'm Stags28. Have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Thanks for joining us.